This week, we're going to be doing a mini-series on pricing and profitability for lawn care business owners, particularly solo and small operators, okay? So we're going to string together about 5 videos in a row, and every single one of them are going to be on the same topic, which is pricing and profitability. And I'm going to discuss the topics that I see coming up over and over again, whether it's here on the channel or just from people in Turf Pros Academy. So again, this week moving forward, expect 5 videos all on pricing and profitability. I think you're going to really enjoy this little mini series. A trend I noticed is that most lawn care guys that are solo or small operations, they are underpricing their services. We're going to discuss the most common reasons, and then more importantly, how to fix it, because man, this work is hard enough, and if we're not making good money, I don't want to do it. The first reason that guys are underpricing their work that I've seen, and this is from coaching a lot of guys too in Turf Pros Academy, they charge what they are considering a high hourly rate. You know, maybe if you're making $20 an hour or $25 an hour or $30 an hour at your current job, and then all of a sudden you're charging $50 an hour or $60 an hour for your time mowing lawns, that initial jump seems like a lot of money. The problem with that is they're not accounting for the drastic increase in overhead. And now all of a sudden you have commercial insurance on your truck, you have insurances on your mowers. You now are carrying a general liability policy. And at the end of it all, you look back and you're like, man, that extra money that I thought I was making at charging $60 an hour or $80 an hour for my time, all that gets eaten up, okay? It gets eaten up in your overhead expenses and then just the cost of doing business. So the first reason is guys are not accounting for their overhead expenses, the increase in overhead expenses that is scooping up a lot of that extra profit. Number 2, and this is so common, a lot of guys that I've coached, they are giving a price break. Even if they're not letting the client know it, they're giving a little bit of a price break because they're able to do a yard beside the yard that they're already doing, okay? Now, while route density is super important, and that is a good thing, and I preach how important that is, if you are discounting your services, you are leaving money on the table. And here's what happens. You know, you're doing your client's yard for $60 for the yard or $50 for the yard, and then the neighbor walks up and you're like, man, I really would like to have this account, you know, I'm already here. So instead of charging him $60, you charge him $55 or $50 because you want that account. Over the course of a season, that adds up, and you do that across all of your clients, it starts adding up. Furthermore, if you end up losing your original client, that first client, well, now you've not only lost your route density, but now you're doing a job that is less profitable simply because you gave a discount for route density. We do not give discounts for route density. It is so important that every single yard has to be profitable on its own merit. It has to stand alone, meet your per man hour rate on its own merit. Number 3, this is a silent killer, man. This trips up so many guys that I coach, and it is underpricing your auxiliary services, okay? Let me explain. If you are mowing somebody's lawn for, let's just say, $50, and it takes you half an hour to do that lawn for $50, well, in essence, you're generating $100 a man hour. But then the client comes out and asks you to do hedge trimming. They want you to trim the hedges, all right? So you sit here and you think, well, you know, I'm already here. I've got my hedge trimmers with me. So you look at the job and you're like, I should be able to knock this out in like 15 minutes. I'm gonna knock this out in 15 minutes. So you tell them, say, hey, you know, 15 minutes, you know, I'll charge you 30 bucks just to touch these hedges up. Start doing the hedges, and then half an hour later, you've only made $30. Now, your per man hour rate on that hedge trimming job is what? It is $60 a man hour because you made $30 in 30 minutes, all right? So in essence, you're generating $60 a man hour on that hedge trimming job. And here's my point. If you can generate $100 an hour mowing, why would you generate $60 an hour trimming hedges, all right? It happens all the time. We justify giving price breaks because we're already on the property, when we would be better off pulling off and just going to the next job and mowing it, and then having free time on the back end of our day to do 4 more mowing jobs. If you are making less on those auxiliary services than you are on your mowing rate, you are taking a double hit. Not only are you losing out on a per man hour rate, but more importantly, you're losing time whenever you should be mowing because you're making more money mowing. Now, that being said, those auxiliary services, you can actually make more money on those than you can whenever you are mowing. But I just see it over and over again that those little auxiliary services They trip guys up. They end up eating up hours out of their day for a low man-hour rate, and it's only justified because we're already there on the property. Don't do that. Make sure you are recovering your overhead. I have a simple spreadsheet calculator at Turf Pros Academy that you can download for free to make sure that you can recover your overhead. Number two, make sure you're not discounting your lawn mowing services based on route density. And then number three, make sure you're not underpricing those auxiliary services because they kill your per man hour rate. You'd be better pulling off and doing additional mowing than underpricing those services. Those are the three sneaky reasons that I see guys underpricing their work. They have good intentions, they have reasoning for why they're doing it, but it's underpricing and it's killing your bottom line at the end of the year. I want you to make a lot of money with your lawn business, okay? This is very, very hard work. There's no reason to be doing this if we're not making a lot of money. Good luck.